Hello viewers, welcome to MMK Eagle View. I'm Mahesh Adhithya. You would have seen me in the previous video explaining the Chinese involvement in the present war between Hamas and the Israeli government. This is going to be a really interesting video now that I'm going to give right now. After a long time, I have taken such a long time for a good content, delivering a good research. So few weeks back, actually 2 weeks back, you would have seen a video circulating what happened in Dagestan, correct? A region in Russia. This episode is going to be about the Dagestan region in Russia. So here we are trying to explain about the demography of Dagestan and the key takeaways for India and key takeaways for we as Indians. So this video is exclusively prepared. It has involved a lot of extensive research just to explain what happened, because 2 weeks back the chaos that happened in Dagestan, and it's been circulated all around the media channels, explaining what that video was about. Just to give a brief introduction, a plane from Tel Aviv landed in Makhachkala, the capital of Dagestan in Russia, and a mob or a group of gangsters, they came and they wanted to hijack a lot of Israelis. But luckily there wasn't any collateral damage that happened, but few infrastructures were damaged in the Makhachkala airport. So here we are now about to discuss what is the reason behind that. And mainly, if you see, we have to study the demography of Dagestan. So in this video we are going to see what are the main reasons which led to these particular developments, because we have to study the region as first. Region is very important because a lot of people, we Indians, we perceive Russia in a stereotypical way, and like other Westerners stereotype India, we Indians also stereotype Russia in a lot of instances. So this video is going to be about Dagestan region. I've taken references from several YouTubers. I'll be giving all those references by the end of this video. So moving to the content. So the first, with the start of this video, I would like to point out three main questions, and these questions will be answered eventually in this video. So the first question is, what is this Dagestan region? That a lot of people are unheard of. Only after this video people are searching for Dagestan region, but what is that region? And there are few ethnicities in Dagestan region, specifically in a country like Russia. So what is that? And second is, how does Russia keep them intact, keep all those ethnicities intact by protecting the country's sovereignty? And the third question is, obviously, what are the key takeaways for we Indians? So first thing is that, as I said in the start of the video, a lot of people are stereotyping Russia. It's better now to differentiate between two key terms. One is Ruskiye and the second is Rossianye. That is, Ruskiye means ethnically Russians. They are primarily Russians, ethnically Russians. Their ancestors were Russians and they speak Russian. And Rossianye means the Russian nationalities. That is, they are not necessarily ethnically Russians, but they speak Russian and they are very well part of Russia and they are Russian nationals, but they might be from different ethnicities. So now these two terms are clear. Let us start from the other issues. So the first is, we are going to discuss about what Dagestan is, correct? So Dagestan is actually in the north of Caucasus region. Caucasus, for viewers, I'll just give you a small introduction what Caucasus region is. The Caucasus region is a region that is comprised of three main countries, which is Armenia, Azerbaijan and Georgia, and Dagestan is a bordering region, part of Russia bordering Azerbaijan. It's called the North Caucasus because it's part of the northern part of the Caucasus region. It's part of the North Caucasus region, and primarily, if you see, this particular region is the most diverse region in Russia, because it has more than 30 ethnic groups and more than, I would say, 60 plus nationalities. I'm repeating this again because there are a lot of ethnicities in this particular region, and it's difficult and it's volatile to have this particular region intact with Russia, because anything can happen anytime. So this region has more than 30 ethnicities, not just Russians but other ethnicities. So this particular region, although has more than 30 ethnicities, they have two major groups. One group is called Avars and the other is called the Darjans. These are the two main groups that are densely populated among the ethnicities. More than 20% of the population comprise of these two ethnicities among the 28 other ethnicities. So the Avars and Darjans. So these two ethnicities have constant skirmishes between them, and this is pretty much evident till date. Right from the start, from the formation of the Soviet Union till date, these two groups have been fighting regularly. This Dagestan region is primarily a Muslim populated country. It follows Islam. The state, Dagestan is part of the Dagestan Republic, because Russia is divided into republics, oblasts and krais. So this particular republic's official religion is Islam, and they do follow Islam. Most of them are Sunni Muslims, but 80% are Sunni Muslims, but a little bit of population, 20% of the population follow Shia Islam as well, sorry. So this is the actual demography of this region, because it all started from the Arab conquest. If we had to go back, it all started from the Arab conquest in the 600 AD, when first Persia was invaded by the Arabs, and then slowly they came up all the way to the Caucasus, and the present day Islamic population is also because of that particular region. So I'm giving these references, I'm giving these historical references for you to know that this particular region is not the typical Russian ethnicity or the typical Russian historical background that we are perceived of. The perception might differ, but the thing is, the historical facts stays the same. Russia as a whole is diverse, and in this particular region, if you see, more than the Tatars, the Bashkirts or the Yakutsk or the Chuvas populations, these two, the Avars and the Darjans populations dominate heavily. So the next is, we are going to talk about the conflict, that is, especially if you see, I said Sunnis and Shias are there, right? But these Sunni Muslims, they follow two different branches called the Hanafi Madhab school of thought and the Shafi Madhab school of thought. I'm having these references read from my laptop because I had done extensive study on this. So these particular insights is very useful for you. The only difference between Saudi Arabia and this particular region is, in Saudi Arabia they mostly follow a different school of thought, and here they follow Hanafi school of thought, Hanafi Madhab. So this is the main particular difference, because Ahmadiyya school of thought and the Salafi Muslims, it's totally different from Wahhabism in Saudi Arabia mostly. So this is totally different from what you are currently doing right now. So these are some of the historical references that I had given, but the real game starts from the Bolshevik Revolution. That is the main thing, because this particular region came into a volatile situation only after the Bolshevik Revolution. Although communism states that it is beyond races, it's beyond ethnicities, it's beyond religions, so on and so forth. At a point in time, if you see, most of the problems started by homogenizing the population. The population as such is very heterogeneous, but after homogenizing the population, the problem started right from that particular point. So the first thing is, after the Bolshevik Revolution, if you see, the entire Caucasus was occupied by the Soviets, because before that it was the Ottomans. Ottomans have been ruling over there for the past 500 years. So before Bolshevik Revolutions, Ottomans were the key players over there, and the Islam was carried away. The Islam was followed in a stringent manner because of the Ottomans' rule in that particular region. So Bolshevik Revolution played a vital part over there. So once the Bolshevik started, the Red Army gained lot of control. You obviously know, after World War One, after the fall of Ottomans, Red Army took control of that particular region, and this is the first time when the region of Dagestan formed with a particular territory, naming it as the Dagestan Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic. I'm repeating this again because I shouldn't make any proper mistake. I shouldn't make any mistakes while I pronounce these particular terms. For layman, it will be really easy. But if even the layman starts to quote, or if they want to have some citations, these particular terminologies shouldn't be incorrect. So that is why I'm very, very cautious in naming these right from my resources. So the Dagestan Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic. So this was one of the main thing, because after the Slavic brothers, that is Ukraine and Belarus, the first ever republic to be part of the Soviet Union was actually Trans-Caucasus, the present-day Caucasus, the Trans-Caucasus, the three countries which I had said in the beginning. This gained the first momentum. The Dagestan Socialist Republic gained the first momentum, and it became an autonomous republic, as you said. So it gained significant control. So this shows the layer of complexity, because in politics, if you see, religion plays a vital role, correct? I would say three main point plays a vital role in politics. First is religion, and the second is obviously the ethnic divisions and the political divide. The political divide happens only because of these ethnic divisions. After these things, I would like to also point out few things about Chechnya, because Chechnya is the neighboring state of Dagestan region. And if you see, Chechnya is very, 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 very vulnerable. You must have known that Russian government had a rough past with the Chechnya, and in 2009, luckily the war ended. But even after that, there is a lot of insecurities in this particular region called Chechnya, because Chechnya also shares the same Muslim brotherhood along with Dagestan. In fact, if you see, Dagestan was actually supporting Chechnya when they had a war with the Russian government, and even before that, Dagestan was fully supporting Chechnya, and both of them fought in the Russo-Turkish War. This happened in 1888. So that is one of the main reasons why Russian government feels Dagestan as a part of it, because both Chechens and the people from the ethnicities from the Dagestan, they fought in war against Turkish in the 19th century, and again when Russian government had its civil war with the Chechen rebels in the Chechen war, Dagestan was also part of it. So Dagestan was part and parcel of every single war that happened between Russia or with Russia. So Dagestan was a region wherein Russia couldn't forego that particular region. So we had seen all these perspectives, but these are political, and we have discussed about the ethnical and the political perspective, correct? And the cultural ties as well. But the thing is, what is the main reason that Russia still holds? It's because of the strategic location. If you see Dagestan, I'll be showing you the map as well. So Dagestan is one of the few regions that has proper connectivity to the seaports. It has the direct access to the Caspian Sea. So that is one of the main things, because Caspian Sea is an all-weather port, and the Caspian Sea is also an all-weather condition region wherein trade can happen throughout the year. So Dagestan is one of the major regions where it plays a vital role. Particularly these two cities, Derbent and Makhachkala, were developed at a full-fledged even after the Chechen war, because they needed infrastructure, they need logistic facilities from these two cities to reach the ports of the Dagestan to have access to the Caspian Sea. So this is how important it is. And it is also a strategic point for Russia to have a close eye on the other Caucasian countries. And if you watch clearly, Russia has been mediating in the war between Azerbaijan and Armenia with the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic issue, correct? So that has been there, and Russia's involvement in Abkhazia and South Ossetia has also been a talk of the town. So Dagestan is the major reason because the regions which I had mentioned right now, Nagorno-Karabakh, Abkhazia and South Ossetia. So these three regions are very much close to Dagestan, and Dagestan is strategically situated in a way that they are point of monitoring. They are sort of like a base camp to be operated just to monitor, and it's primarily used for surveillance. So Russian government will obviously keep the region intact because they have to monitor what's going on in these three volatile region where war can actually the situation can actually burst out into a war anytime possible. So this is one of the major reasons why Russia still holds Dagestan region. So among all these things, we have discussed a lot of other things, but the point to be noted over here is that a lot of other media hasn't spoken about one particular issue. So if we talk about Dagestan, they say that it's a poorly developed state with a lot of ethnicities, with a lot of nationalities that's there. The infrastructure is not good compared to other regions of Russia. The logistic facilities is not well developed, and it is not even well equipped compared to other regions. But the point to be noted over here is that none of the media or none of the outlets are talking about this particular organization. I am very focused about mentioning this particular organization because it also acts as a threat to other countries, and it is a learning point for India. So one of the main thing is that the Hamas has a link with all these particular countries which I had mentioned right now. That is because of one particular organization, and that organization name is Imarat Kavkaz or Emirate Kavkaz. So it's called the Caucasian Emirate. This particular Caucasian Emirate, this is actually a terrorist organization because the UN, I quote again, the United Nations considers this as a terrorist organization, this as a jihadist organization. So this is a designated terrorist organization called Imarat Kavkaz or the Emirate Kavkaz or the Caucasian Emirate. So this is actually a designated terrorist organization which operates from the Caucasus, and they have a stronghold in Dagestan. If you see closely, one of the main intentions of Emirate Kavkaz is to eliminate Russian forces and to establish an Islamic Emirate. They are totally against the Russian forces, and they can go to any extent in order to establish an Islamic state wherein the Sharia law is practiced. They want to establish a Sharia state. Not a lot of media is talking about this particular organization. In 2015, it was eradicated. So probably it is because of this particular reason, but still, the impact is still there. The sort of an influence over an extreme method or an extreme activity that is still volatile in this particular region is because of this particular terror group. In 2015, although it is eradicated, it still remains relevant at some point in time. So these are one of the major reasons why Dagestan is actually volatile, and Dagestan is spoken a lot. So these insights have been done by me in order to provide you a better insight, stating that not all regions in the world is the same, and not all regions can be homogeneous. So speaking about all these things, what are the key takeaways? as we Indians, what are we supposed to know about these things? How does it gonna impact us? How does some region in some part of Russia gonna impact us? And what is the reason for studying all these demographics and the facts, and what is the point of analyzing these issues? So the first thing is that the handling of an issue. So India has been facing a lot of extremist terror sort of issues and threats over the past 7 decades. It has not been new for us. But the point to be noted over here is that India still is a quasi-federal government, correct? In Russia, if you see, it is the largest federal government, and as I had said, since it's divided into republics, oblasts and krais, the federal government is actually responsible for holding each state, giving its own autonomy. For instance, a particular state can actually decide what it wants to do, its official language, its official religions, so on and so forth. Even in India, it's quite the same in a democratic process. But the thing to be noted over here is that compared to India, in Russia, due to the volatile situations in these particular regions, the autonomy or the authority given to these states are pretty more. The power sharing is pretty more. So as a quasi-federal government in India, we are supposed to have a sense of responsibility in retaining the power, retaining the integrity of these states by granting proper power to these states. And the next thing is that India is now in a situation to maintain de-hyphenation policy. Russia also maintained de-hyphenation foreign policy. I had mentioned this particular policy in the previous video as well. Russia has also maintained, but the point to be noted over here is that India is moving away from the de-hyphenation policy, which is actually it's an actual threat to India, because a lot of minorities feel insecure, and I have given the reason why de-hyphenation policy is actually going up, it's going apart. It's justifiable from the Indian government, but the point to be noted is here, it's an act of balance. It's a pure act of balance. India is now in a situation wherein we are in a dire motive of protecting the rights of the minorities. Indian government does that at present. The present ruling party does that undoubtedly. But when it comes to de-hyphenation policy, if a particular state can influence the central government, like how particular region in Russia influenced the Kremlin, likewise a particular state can challenge Delhi if de-hyphenation policy is stayed away, is being distanced. So it is really important for India to actually stick to de-hyphenation policy. India does stick to de-hyphenation policy, but it is up to our government to sustain that and to maintain that, and we shouldn't stay away from the de-hyphenation policy. By the start of the video, I had said that I had given a lot of references. I will be giving a lot of references and sources and citations. So for common people, I had actually taken a lot of references from Russian YouTubers. They are Russians, specifically they are Russians, and some of them are part of different ethnicities. But these YouTubers, if you see, they will be doing not just vlogs, not just for tourist vlogs or for foreigners, but they will also be giving proper insights of the culture, the ethnicity, and even the politics of that region, exploring nook and corner of Russia, every single inch of Russia. So I would like to mention 4 or 5 YouTube channels for the common people. Ellie in Russia, I have taken a lot of references from Ellie in Russia. Her YouTube channel is really good. Dagestan, Natasha's Adventure, Russian Plus or the Cool Vision, and Real Russia. So these are some of the YouTube channels where I have taken a lot of references, because I haven't been to Russia. I can speak Russian, but I haven't been to Russia yet. But the point is, they are providing ground information and they are exploring those regions, which breaks the stereotype that we are having towards Russia. So as a common people, even if you want to know more about Russia, even if you are very curious to get more insights about Russia, you can follow these channels. And for academicians, I would like to give one particular references, because I myself had taken from this particular article. It is from the Stiftung Wissenschaft Politik. It's a German institute. This has actually published a research paper in Cambridge University Press. I'll be giving the link down in the description as well, so we can refer to this article. It's called Dagestan, Russia's Most Troublesome Republic. So this is this particular article. It's by Halbach and Manosha Isayeva. So this article from the German Stiftung Wissenschaft Politik, it has given me a lot of insights. So people, academicians in specific, or researchers who wanted to get more such information about Dagestan region, they can very well browse through this particular article. Hope you find these informations very, very useful. And as a responsible citizen, it is my duty as well to give you well-researched article like these, well-researched content like these, in order to have a good perspective and to substantiate my points and statements. So it is my responsibility to give you good, verified, authentic information and a proper analysis. So thank you so much for listening to this. Namaste, Jai Hind, bye bye.